Hi, today we're looking at Shikaku, which is a spatial awareness logic puzzle played on a square grid. Today we're looking at a simple one-star puzzle, looking at a 9x9 grid. The objective of the puzzle, it's quite similar in some ways to Meadows, which we've looked at previously, in that we are dividing up the grid into areas using squares or rectangles, but unlike Meadows, which only uses squares and in which the regions are defined by the circles on the grid, in Shikaku, we're using these numbers to tell us how big each region needs to be. So the rules are simple. We just have one number per region, and regions can only be square or rectangular. So how do we go about solving this? Well, the first place to look is where you have adjacent numbers like this, because we can only have one number in a region. So we know that we can put a line in here and separate the 15 and the 16. They can't be part of the same region. So there'll have to be a boundary somewhere along there. And it's a good starting point, because if we look at the 16, for example, well, it's a number that is not divisible by 3, and it's divisible by 2. So we're not going to be able to extend all the way across here, because we're going to bump into this 4. And so the only way we could get 16 by extending across there would be to make an irregular shape, which isn't allowed, or only allowed rectangles. So the only way we're going to be able to do that is to come down this way like this. We've got a link down here, which stops us going any further than that row there. So we're going to have to start at the top, because, as I say, it's a 9x9 grid. So we need all 8x2. So we've got that one in now. So that's given us some 8x2 rectangle, so 16. So that area is complete. That gives us a very easy wing with the 4, doesn't it? Because the 4, well, we could either go up this way or down this way, except that if we come down here, we're going to end up blocking this 5. We won't be able to make a region with 5 squares. So effectively, we know that we can put a dividing line in here, which is going to give us a 4 square region here and a 5 square region here. So I'm going to draw those in now. So that's the 4 and the 5 taken care of. And the puzzle starts to solve itself almost, doesn't it? This is why it's an easy one, because we've got this 8 square region here. Well, we know we're on the 9x9 grid. So obviously we're going to have to come across here. It's the only way to make that. Now we've only got 3 more regions to draw in, but there are a couple of ways to do it. Only one, of course, is correct. I'm going to come back up and look at this 15. So being an odd number, we know that we're not going to be 2 squares wide. We can divide by 3. And we know also that this 15 is going to have to incorporate some of these top squares up here, this top row, because if we came down here, for example, then this row here would not be part of any other region. We can't leave orphan cells. Every cell must be part of a region. So as well as looking at numbers and how we can draw regions around the numbers, as well as looking at empty squares and working out which region they must be a part of. And some of these squares up here are going to have to be part of this 15. It's the only way to incorporate them in a region. So it stands to reason that with the 18 down here and the 15 here giving us certain constraints, we're going to have to come across this way, and we're going to have to come down this way, and we're going to have to start at the top, as I say, because otherwise we're going to orphan themselves, which means, so we're going to have to make this a 5x3 region. I can't see any other way of doing it. And we could come across 5 this way. And of course, if we do it down 3 like that, but if we do that, we're now orphaning these cells here, which is another problem. So our 5x3 is going to have to go in the other direction. We're going to have to come across 3 and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. That way, we're not orphaning any cells. That takes care of that. And that means that this 15 can also be a 5x3, like this, leaving just the 18, which is the only remaining region and takes care of all the remaining cells, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3. So that's our 18. And that's it. We've solved that very easy puzzle. Obviously, they get much harder, bigger grids, more clues. This is easy as well because we're using big numbers, 18s and 15s for the regions. As you get into harder puzzles, you'll find smaller numbers, so you need other techniques. But it's a process of elimination, and working through logically, there's always one single logical solution. They're great fun. If you'll have a go yourself, have a look at the link in the description to download a taster pack. And we include these sometimes in Puzzle Weekly as well, which comes out every Monday, and that's free.
Hi, I'm Dora. Don't forget, you can get our Puzzle Weekly magazine delivered to you every Monday, completely free. Visit the link to get your copy.